Alright, this is a video for one VT and one HT about the practice test of chapter 2. This is part 2 of the video, so I'm going to be explaining the second page, the exercises 5 till 8. So if you have difficulties with it, you can watch this video and then hopefully you understand. With exercise 5 we have to calculate something and we have to write down the intermediate steps. Well, I already wrote down the exercises over here, so I'm going to be working out what the answer is. Here we see minus 7 plus minus 21. Well, you'll learn that plus minus is the same as minus. So it's actually minus 7 minus 21. So the answer is minus 28. And this is the intermediate step. And this is the answer. So for the next one, we write down minus minus becomes plus. So 12 plus 18. So this is our intermediate step. And our answer is 30. Here we have 3 minuses. So some students find that a bit more difficult, right? But only minus minus becomes plus if they're next to each other, like over here. So if you only have those two, it does not become plus. But these two do. So I'm just going to write down minus 12, and then minus minus becomes plus. So minus 12 plus 12 is 0. And now the exercises become a bit more difficult, because now we have 3 things. So I'm just going to write down minus 14. And here we see minus minus, so that's plus 36. And then we see plus minus, so that's minus 56, and then we have to calculate what that is. So first, minus 14 plus 36, right, that will be 22. And then if you do 22 minus 56, you get minus 34. And that's the answer then. For the next one, we have 73, so I'm just going to write that down. And then plus minus becomes minus, so minus 83. And then again, minus, and then 18. So 73 minus 83 is minus 10, and minus 10 minus 18 is minus 28. And that's the answer. For the next one, F, I'm going to write down the first number that we see, that's minus 15, and then minus minus becomes plus, and again minus minus becomes plus. So this is what we have. So we're going to do minus 15 plus 51, that's going to be 36, and 36 plus 11 is 47, if I calculated that correctly. Yeah. So that's how exercise 5 works, right? Then with exercise 6 we only have to fill in if something is bigger than, smaller than, or equal to. Right? I think most students understand, so I can just do this a bit quickly. Right? We know that minus 8 is smaller than minus 7, because minus 7 is bigger, it's closer to 0. And if it's negative numbers, that means that the closer to 0 you are, the bigger it is. Then we have these two, and they are exactly the same, because if you put the 2 in the fraction, you get 9. Oh, you get 9 over 4. Yes, that's correct. Here we have one that's positive and one that's negative, so of course the positive one is bigger than. And here we have 12 and this number. If you divide this by 10, you get 12.1. So that means that, 12.1 and 12, because they're negative, this one is bigger. Yeah, because minus 12 is higher than minus 12.1. Okay. So that's exercise 6. Then I'm going to move on to exercise 7. So I have a blank paper here. I already wrote down 7a. We're going to read the question. For renting a tile cutter is a machine that you can cut tiles with, and tiles are the things that you find in your bathroom most often, right? The little tiles on the wall. If you want to rent it at Hornbach, you can use this formula. You have to pay 18 euros per number of days, and then you have to pay 8.50 for an administration fee. Right? I need to record that you have it, and then for every day you need to pay 18 euros. The cost is calculated in euros. And question A, Maaike rents a tile cutter for 2 days. Calculate how much she has to pay. So this 8.50 does not change, it's always 8.50, but the number of days does change depending on how many days you want to have it. Maaike wants to have it for 2 days, so that means that our costs will be 18 times 2, because she rents it for 2 days, and then plus 8.50, because that's what you always pay. 18 times 2 is 36, and 36 plus 8.50 is 44.50 euros. So that is how much Maaike has to pay to rent this tile cutter for 2 days. Next question. When renting the tile cutter, you pay a daily fee and an administration fee. What is the fee per day? Well, the thing that you pay per day is 18. And the thing that you pay only once is 8.50. So that's the administration fee. So to answer question B was, what is the fee per day? That's 18 euros. And then question C, what is the administration fee? That was 850 in euros. Exercise D. Kyle pays 134.50 for renting the tile cutter. For how many days does he rent it? Okay, so we don't know the number of days, but I do know that 18 times the number of days, so I don't know what it is. And if I add 850 to it, in total he paid 134.50. So what I'm going to do now is first I'm going to remove like this 850 here, and I'm going to subtract it over there. If you do that, you get 126, right? So he rented it a couple of days, and apparently he had to pay 126 euros for that. So this is what he has to pay for the number of days that he rents it, and then he has to pay another 850, and that's why the total price is 134.50. But this is the price for the number of days that he rents it. So if you want to figure it out, you can do 126 divided by 18, and then you have the answer, which is 7. So you rented it for 7 days. Another way to figure this out is you can also try a number. You can do, for example, 18 times 5 plus 850, and then see if it is that, which it isn't. Then you try 6, and then you try 7, and then you have the correct answer. That's also a good way of calculating this. But this might be quicker. So to repeat one more time, first I subtracted 850 from this number, so then you know that 18 times something is 126. So if you do 126 divided by 18, then you know that something, which is 7 days. Moving on to the final exercise, that's exercise 8. Here we have to calculate 4a minus 7b, and we know that a is 9 and b is 5. Okay, so I'm going to write down here for exercise A, 4a minus 7b. Now we know that, if you look at the question again, a is 9 and b is 5. So if a is 9, then we get 4 times 9, right? Because I said it during the lesson also, there is a times here, but you don't have to write it down, but it actually is there. That's why we see it over here. And minus 7 times 5. Well, 4 times 9 is 32. 7 times 5 is 35. So if you calculate this, you get minus 3, and that's the answer. Then the final exercise of this practice test is 8b. Here we have minus a plus 3b, and a is still 9 and b is still 5. So I'm going to write down the exercise first. And now we know that a is 9, so this just becomes minus 9, because there's not really a times here now, there's just a minus there. And then 3 times 5. So we have minus 9 plus 15, so we get 6, and that's the answer. So these were the answers for the practice test. I hope this helped anyone who watched it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.